Hello and welcome back to City Skylines. My name's Sparky and we're back in the city of Baltimoray here on the west coast of Scotland. The last time we upgraded, or we changed the district style over here of our old style sort of government office area slash office area to the European style, and I think it suits the older assets a lot better, the cathedral and the government offices and whatnot. But for this episode here, I kind of want to build a pedestrian commercial zone right next to that. And to start with, we're going to take out this, I did say at the time it was probably be temporary junction out here, and add in a new junction. As I say, I've got an idea now of how I want it to look over here, and I want to bring the train line over from the other area so we can connect it up, and then we can actually transport people over here without them having to drive through, our big cul-de-sac over the other side here. So I'm just dezoning these wee row of shops I put in the last time, because I don't think really, again, they were kind of temporary along with the junction. So I'm just going to begin here by flattening just a wee bit here. It already is relatively flat. Because it's a pedestrian precinct and it's a kind of a central area, and it's going to be, the assets are going to be quite, they're quite tall. I kind of want the area to be as flat as possible, so I'm just flattening out a wee bit here. As I say, it doesn't really need too much flattening, thankfully. I'm also going to take out this row of offices. As I say, I want to, there will be offices here when we rezone it, but on the actual main road itself, when we re-put it down here, I want it to be commercial as well as offices. And as I said, I just wanted to flatten the area just a wee bit, and I don't mind them being a wee bit lumpy and bumpy in terms of the older European style, because I think you can get away with it. But yeah, I'm just re-putting this road in here. I don't want to do too much landscaping, but at the same time I do want this area to be flat, just because it's a commercial zone, and it will look better in my opinion later on, once it's all filled in. Yeah, so I'm just going to lay the foundations for our pedestrian precinct. I don't want to go too much into it at the moment, but I kind of just want to get the basics in just now, just so that I know where I'm working from in terms of where I'm putting the train station and where I'm putting when we need to obviously rejoin the highway to our main road here. So I just want to put our basic grid in for now, and then we can put in the train line and our highway connection again. So I'm just building up a wee grid here. And obviously I don't want it to be all square, so I'm having I'm just having it coming off at an angle here, and that's where we're going to put our train station. It's right at the sort of edge of the sort of square. I'm just moving over the police station and the fire station, because I think they'll suit being out of the way. This is kind of like the corner of it where, it'd be good to have, the services and, the services and the cargo hub thing for later on. So I just wanted to put them out of the way. And here we're just building a wee bridge, because we have to bring more railway line under or over the road. And I decided I wanted to have the railway kind of flat, and we'll just have to build over it in terms of the road here. Which I don't mind. So we're just putting the rail under the bridge, and we're obviously going to connect up to our train station here. So that's relatively straight, which is kind of good. You kind of want to minimise the turns on it, and then yeah, we're just going to connect that up here. So obviously it needs a wee bit of landscaping, because you want it to come down off the hill, at a relatively evenish pace. You don't want it to be, coming off the hill, coming down the hill on a cliff edge, you know, so I just flattened out the hill a wee bit there. And now we're just obviously putting in another highway connection. Again, I don't know how much, I don't know how long this connection will last, because you know, I've said before, it's a kind of ugly intersection, but I didn't want to really get into the today of building another whole intersection again, so I'm just putting in the basic one for now, and then we can maybe do something else at a later date. But I just want to get it functional so we can, you know, get building more commercial area. So again, I'm just sort of evening out the hill a wee bit here, and just so we're not driving off a cliff again. It just curved road in, just upgrade these a wee bit. Nothing too elaborate, as I say. I might come by this bit eventually and redo this intersection a wee bit. Nothing too drastic, just make it a wee bit more neat and tidy. So now we've got our rail line connected and we've got our highway connection back in. We may as well put our train line in now. So I turned them off because obviously it costs money just to have them and we're not actually using them. So I'm just turning them back on, disabling they're not obviously connected at the moment to intercity trains. But just in case in the future when we do, you know, have a more elaborate train station that's connected, then we're just creating a line. This is actually our first transport line. I should really get, you know, a bus service going. But for now, we'll settle for this train line. It brings people over. It's connected to our main residential area, and obviously this is going to be our main commercial area. And so obviously we've got that little internet services / office district, and you know, at the other end of it. So now I'm just zoning the European side of the road, we'll call it, mostly commercial, as you can see. And I still want to have mainly offices kind of on that side, and I do want to have a row of commercial obviously in the sort of middle area. Yeah, just another row of commercial, and then we're just going to do offices for the rest. So at the back of this semicircle of the cathedral, I'm going to put in where I want the main road to go through, and we can obviously look at it, you know, at a later date. So not perfect, but well, far from perfect, but we can tidy it up a later date. I just wanted to put it down there, just so I know kind of roughly where I'm going with it. So it's time to we'll start zoning. I want that corner there to be again European style, and then over here it's going to be modern city centre. So I want this sort of middle square here to be like an organic / local produce, and I want to have a fish market as well. So it, you know, kind of it's a locally sourced fish. The only problem is we don't actually have any sort of fishing industry at the moment, so I'm just going to turn it off for now. But yeah, I want to have an organic, a local fish market, and we're going to have like organic / local produce shops around it. But yeah, I kind of want to have a wee sort of like a market for local produce, but be it fish, fruit, and if we do any farms later on that's got other stuff. So yeah, just organic and local produce around the fish market. And I just want to have a wee path. The reason I didn't use another pedestrian roads is because I didn't want to create another sort of junction. I don't want to have one every 2 meters or anything, so that's why I just put a path in there. And just a couple of plazas. Two of the usual the basic plazas, and then two of these new plazas. And just putting a road or a pedestrian road in between them. So with the new plazas, they come in I think three styles maybe. I think it's like similar styles to the pedestrian roads. So I kind of wanted them up both to the same type of paving, and I think I wanted to go with the cobblestone. So the one on the right did come out as cobblestone, and this other one here, obviously, I'm just you kind of have to just play delete and replace it until you get to the one you want. That's that red brick one. That red brick one's quite nice, but as I say, I kind of want them both to be cobblestone here, and then that's it. So I thought that looks a lot better. It suits the sort of grey of the bluestone. So I thought that looked quite nice. So just a couple of plazas, and then a couple of the newer plazas I thought looked quite nice. For our central square that people can walk around. So in this wee square here I've just made, I want to use one of the unique buildings, and that was a shopping centre. One, because it sort of fitted into the grid that I made, and two, obviously it kind of suits the area that we're going for, which is just a purely shopping square / precinct thing. Yeah, I just wanted to put down a couple of trees at the back and at the side, because I didn't really want to have any more zoning. I thought it'd be nice to have a wee bit of decoration. And again, this is sort of the back of the precinct where the train station is, so I wanted a wee bit of niceties, but I didn't want anything too elaborate, because at the end of the day it's kind of the part of the precinct that you only really see when you're sort of leaving. So with the basic assets in, yeah, this was me. I decided to put another main road in here, and this is going to be sort of a junction, so I had to redo this sort of connection again. I say it's a bit of a footery one because it's a weird angle and shape to be coming off at. But yeah, I thought it'd be good to sort of swing it around the semicircle and going in the other direction, just come off at a 90-degree angle. So it's a sort of it's going to be like a main junction in the city where traffic does actually stop, and then just put another pedestrian path at the back there. So it's time for more Modern City DLC. The assets, the ones we're starting with here are 3x3, and we have to make them historic. Obviously it takes a wee bit of time, and I've just realised when I've obviously started this here. So it's zoned to local produce. I need to obviously change. I need to make another zone in this square in the middle here where I want my local produce to go, and we can delete. We can just delete these three that I've already zoned. I'm going to place down a service point because I've forgotten, and obviously we're zoning now, so we kind of need one. So thankfully these assets are quite, there's only two types that are 3x3, so they zone in quite quickly, and they both zone at level 1. So it's a case of just make them historic as soon as they zone, and we can delete the other ones until we get what we want. So 1 down, 5 to go. So next up at the back here, I thought I'd zone a couple at the same time here, save us a wee bit of time. These two sort of smaller squares, they only zone at level 2, so they will take a wee bit more time. So I thought I would just try and kill two birds with one stone here, and try and keep up with all the zoning and de-zoning, and try and get as many done as I can, but it's a bit of a tedious effort, to be honest. A tedious effort, but I think it's well worth it in the end when they look quite good when they're paired with they're similar assets, because I think the European style kind of suits more. Just you can have any random one with any random asset, and they still look quite good. Whereas I think the modern city centre ones kind of suit better when they're connected. So these ones are quite easy. Maybe I should have started with the harder ones and then moved on to the easier ones. Yeah, these zone quite quickly, and they all zone at level 1, so you can delete them as soon as you know it's not the one that you want. So finally, that's that done. I think it looks quite nice. It's just and then we're moving on to the sort of, I call them the harder ones, but it's really just because they zone at level 2. So they take a wee bit of time sometimes to, and then obviously you're not guaranteed to get the assets you want, so these took a wee bit longer. And by say a wee bit longer, I mean quite long.
11 minutes later.
Not even halfway done yet.
One hour later.
Ugh. Really bored now.
One eternity later.
Oh, hallelujah. Right, we're done. We're done. Yeah, those two took ages. But they look good, I think. So we're down to that's us 4 down, 2 to go. So just zoning in these ones. Again, these ones zone at level 1, so they don't take nearly as long. But it's still sort of still a bit of a tedious prospect, to be honest. But and the problem with them is if they get abandoned and you've made it historical, they don't rebuild unless you actually do it. So unless you destroy it, so it can be a wee bit annoying. But hopefully, if we manage them right, they never get abandoned. But we'll obviously have to cross that bridge when we come to it if they ever do go abandoned for any reason. Most of the time, it's because of either you're struggling to get goods to it, or your death care isn't up to scratch, and a dead person doesn't get picked up in time. So, but to be honest, that was fairly that took 5 minutes. Obviously, I've sped up in a time lapse, but 5 minutes is nothing. And then obviously that's 5 down. This is the 6th one, and this one's a wee bit of a pain as well, because the corners the corners are notoriously bad for zoning that type of corner, whereas we want the other type of corner. I don't know if there's an algorithm that makes that one spawn more often than the other ones, but yeah, this one's take ages. And to be honest, at the end you'll probably see that there's still a couple of corners left to be done, and that was just because I'd lost patience and I just wanted to get on with the rest of the build. So I think I was either didn't need a lot of commercial, or if that's what it was, I forgot to zone. But yeah, these zone at level 1, so these can be quite, the bits in the middle anyway can be quite quick. It's the bits in the corners, as I say, they're a bit of a nightmare at times. Yeah, and obviously you can tell right away if it's the one you're wanting. So I was quite quick at deleting them and getting on with it, because obviously I was kind of losing patience at this point. As I say, it's the kind of thing you should do in small doses. You should not be doing a lot of these like I'm doing back to back, because it gets a bit annoying. I would really like it if they were ploppable, to be honest. But again, that's another thing you could probably do with mods. So thankfully, these don't take too long. As I say, apart from the corners, you can get by them quite quickly, and I think they look quite good once they're actually in place. So obviously the corners don't match, but I can kind of live with them because they're very similar to what we're actually wanting. And there I've talked about them. When they go abandoned, they don't rebuild, and then when they do rebuild, they don't always go to the ones you want. So it can be a wee bit annoying, but we'll manage it hopefully and see how it goes. But that's our basic. That's all the buildings basically in place now. The main commercial buildings. It's just a case now of tidying things up and doing a wee bit of landscaping and changing the paths here. I keep calling them paths, but they're technically roads, aren't they? Pedestrian roads. Yeah, I just want to upgrade these here, and I've just want to put the tree in the middle of all the paths or pedestrian roads. Yeah, so now we've upgraded all our pedestrian paths to, you know, that it's got the trees in the middle, and then I just obviously I'm going to use a different type of tree because I just don't like the standard tree, to be honest, in the middle. So I'm just changing the ones under this sort of awning thing to the sort of cherry blossom ones, and then the ones around the side I'm just going to use a sugar maple tree. Yeah, just upgrade these ones in the middle as well to our cherry blossom tree. I think that looks a million times better than the standard tree, to be honest. But yeah, it's really coming together. I quite like it. And that shopping centre is quite nice. I think it suits the rest of the assets quite nice as well. But yeah, I've got wee grassy bits here, so I'm just going to fence them off because this is, as I say, in the back of the precinct. So I'm just going to fence this off, and it'll give us a tiny wee bit more zoning as well. Like an extra square. I know that doesn't make that much of a difference, but I just think it makes it look a wee bit tidier. And it was mainly for this one here. It gives us the zoning on, you know, the opposite side of the road. So yeah, I'm just going to fence it off, and then we can zone a wee bit of office here. I'll need to upgrade one of those roads because it's not zoned a couple of the squares there. So I'm just going to upgrade this and then downgrade. And then change the tree back. Nice. So we've got a tiny wee bit of area here where we can put in some offices. I mean, I suppose we could put in shops. I suppose we could put in some more commercial, but I think I feel like a couple of offices at the back, at the sides would go quite well. So yeah, I just zoned a couple at the beginning. I've not used this type before, the wall to wall office, and it's got some nice assets. I think it would suit this area as well because it's a nice modern looking area, and I think the assets themselves are quite modern looking, so I think they'll suit this area. As I say, I just want to have a couple of offices. As much as I like that asset, there's nothing on the side of the wall or the back of the wall, so I don't know, I'm not sure about that one. I might have to get rid of that one. Yeah, I don't know if I like that. I'm going to see. I'm going to put some trees in, see if it's any better. Just a couple of cherry blossom trees along the back of this fence here. Ah, that really looks quite nice. Some of those new office assets. I'm still not happy with this 3x3 one, but on its own. So here I'm zoning a wee bit of more commercial. To be honest, I might change these to office as well. I mean, we do have a bucket load of commercial right here on our doorstep, so I might change these to offices. But for now, I'll just zone a couple of shops, lower density, as we're getting out of the precinct. But again, I might change them to office. I'll see. So while that's kind of zoning, I'm not 100% sure this will exist long term, but I think I've got an idea in my head of, instead of the big shopping areas being right on a tiny wee road, I don't want to have another just main road right there, so I'm thinking about having a sort of a plaza area in the middle before you get to the road. Again, this might change if I don't like the look of it or I think of something better, but for now I thought it'd be a good idea anyway to sort of have a bit of distance between, the drivable road and the shopping area, and just have this row of plazas. And at the end of the plaza in this wee grassy bit at the end here, I might put a statue in or something, or I don't know, another special feature or something at the end there. Maybe a fountain or something. I don't know, as I say, it might be temporary, it might stay, I don't know. But yeah, I've decided I don't like the shops. So I'm going to change them to offices. See, I planned out the main precinct, but these wee bits here, I think I'm just going to go with more offices. Yeah, I think that looks quite neat, innit? I think once we spread out as well, once the city grows as well, and there's actually other stuff around this area, I think it'll look really good. It's just still looks a bit isolated, and yeah, I'm going to delete this. I don't like the 3x3. I think I'm going to go with three 2x2s. Yeah, we'll just let that zone and see how that looks instead. We might go back to the 3x3 eventually if I don't like the look of this, how this looks, but I like that a lot better anyway because it's got a back and it looks like I just like the look of that better, to be honest, already. So as you can see, I've been trying to play whack-a-mole with some of the corners there, the precincts, but they're not still zoning, but I can live with that a bit, I can live with them. But yeah, I think it's really coming together. As I say, it's like anything in this game, once you've spent enough time putting in the detail in, it's once you put the detail in, it looks a wee bit better. So earlier on, we brought this main road round, and it's created a sort of weird shaped sort of segment here. So again, I'm just going to put some more offices in as the sort of buffer between our sort of commercial zone and more residential. So I'm just going to put more commercial and just a wee bit more residential. Again, I might put more lower density shops going round the sort of curved area, but we'll see. I just wanted to get a wee bit more office and a wee bit residential in, and just I thought a row of offices there would be good as well. So while that's zoning, the self-sufficient or local produce stuff, they look quite nice. The only problem I have is I kind of want to get rid of the ones that have got any parking spaces on them, especially the ones that are on the pedestrian roads. It doesn't make any sense for them to have spaces, so I kind of just want to have assets that have no parking spaces. If there's parking spaces in the ones on the main road, that's fine because they're on a main road, but in this sort of area here, I just want assets that they don't have any parking spaces. And the good thing about the self-sufficient is there's only one level, so once they zone in, that's them. They don't upgrade, and you don't need to make them historic, so you can delete them right away, and you don't have to make them historic. You don't have to worry about them upgrading or changing or anything like that. So any ones that have got parking spaces, I just want to get rid of. As I say, I might actually go further and the ones in the road, delete some of the ones and replace some of the ones that do have charging spaces and whatnot, because it would make sense for it to have that right next to our pedestrian precinct. So I might actually do that in a later episode maybe. I think I've just been a bit done with playing whack-a-mole today with all the custom assets, but for the modern city assets. Now that all the parking spaces are gone, it looks a lot better, I think. Again, I might change some on the main road to parking spaces, I'll see down the line, but for now, I really like the way that's turned out. So I zoned some offices over here. It looks quite good, just at the edge of the town, or at the entrance into this area, but I just want to put a wee bit of sort of sound buffering basically hide the train, the rail line. So I just want to put a couple of trees in, just at the back here as well, just so the offices don't hear trains go by every 2 seconds. I mean, they'll still hear it, but as I say, I just want to block it a wee bit, and trains like my second favourite thing to do in this game. But yeah, just a few trees, nothing elaborate. Again, once we expand, obviously there's going to be something at the other side of this track. It's just for now it just looks incredibly bare. But one last tree in there, and I think that looks really good. So yeah, I think that's really came together quite nicely. Yeah, so the offices look decent. I don't know if, and it's a nice mix of styles, but I don't know if I'll maybe change these to European as well. I'm not too sure. I don't think the European style suits being on a sort of curvature grid. They kind of just suit being in a square grid, to be honest, the European assets. So I'm just going to put a wee shop here, like a wee local shop. You need them known, just here or there. Nothing too crazy, and I'm just going to put offices along this road for now. So I'm just going to zone, or let it sim for a bit. Again, obviously we've only got one side of the road done, but it looks bare round about it. But I think once this is all built onto, I think it'll look quite good. It's got a nice mix of styles. I quite like that when you've got one side of the road's like a different style to the other. Like, maybe that was at one time they were similar styles, but they decided to knock them down and build a new sort of shopping precinct. But I'm just going to pause it here, and I think that is us. So yeah, I hope they liked the build. As I say, the longest part of it was playing whack-a-mole with the modern city assets, but I think it looks quite good. Still obviously a wee bit of work to be done, a wee bit of finishing touches around the edges and stuff, but I really like the way that's turned out. It just looks like a small town centre, rather than the major city centre, which will build a little bit further down that train line on the left hand side there. But as a small town centre or an older town, I think it really looks quite good, where you've got the older assets of the European style on one side, and then on the other side you've got your sort of main commercial hub that's obviously been rejuvenated as times went on. But yeah, if you like this episode, please give a like, and obviously subscribe if you want to see where the city goes. And thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.